Welcome back to the channel JF Coin Wealth Coin World. Today we're diving deep into a humble pocket treasure that many pass by without a second thought, the 1941 Jefferson 5-cent coin. At first glance it's a modest nickel, Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. But beneath the patina and the years of circulation lies a story of American design, pre-war history, and collecting potential that can surprise even experienced dealers. The Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938 as a modern replacement for the Buffalo nickel, the work of sculptor Felix Schlag, whose design of Jefferson and his beloved Monticello immediately resonated with the public. The 1941 issue belongs to the pre-wartime series produced in the original copper-nickel composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, and because it was struck in large numbers for general circulation, many surviving examples are common, which is exactly why collectors and treasure hunters should pay attention. Common coins in uncommon condition or with unusual features are often the gateway to real profit. Right now, typical circulated 1941 Jefferson nickels trade at modest prices in everyday markets. As you've heard, a baseline value can start around 12 cents per coin in worn condition, but that number masks the real opportunities. Condition matters fiercely. An uncirculated 1941 specimen with crisp details, original luster, and free from contact marks can command multiples above the baseline. Dealer populations and auction records show that higher grades move the needle significantly. Mint mark and rarity play their roles too. Coins struck at different mints can show subtle differences in survival rates and collector demand, and certain mint marks in exceptional grade may be far more desirable. Beyond grade and mint, era coins and unusual varieties, double dies, clipped planchets, strike anomalies, or off-center strikes, can elevate a plain nickel into a piece that collectors will pay a premium for. History fans will appreciate that the 1941 nickel sits on the cusp of a transformative decade. It represents the last full production year of the original composition before the wartime changes that followed in the mid-1940s. It's a coin minted during a tense prelude to global upheaval, making it a small but tangible fragment of American life on the eve of big change. For treasure hunters and everyday people emptying coin jars, here's the practical takeaway: don't discard 1941 Jefferson nickels. If you find one that looks unusually sharp, heavy in relief, or with visible luster, set it aside for closer inspection. Use a magnifier to look for doubling on the lettering, check the fields for striking defects, and compare the reverse steps and skyline of Monticello for full detail. Any of these can indicate premium value. If you're selling, grade honestly and use multiple photos. If you're buying to invest, favor coins with strong eye appeal and provenance when possible. Remember that the market for coins is driven by collectors' tastes and the economy. Interest in U.S. classics remains steady among mid-range collectors, while top-grade specimens and true rarities attract specialist bidders willing to pay well above face value. So while the everyday 1941 Jefferson nickel may start at only a few cents to a dime and, as you noted, around 12 cents in typical worn pieces, the potential for big money exists, not as a rule but as a possibility, when a coin crosses the line from ordinary to exceptional. Whether it's finding a near-mint example in Grandma's change jar, discovering a strange mint error at the local swap meet, or strategically buying certified high-grade pieces, patience and a good eye pay off. If you want help learning how to grade these yourself, identify likely mint marks, or understand how to authenticate and photograph coins for sale, stick around. I'll walk you through step by step in future videos. Hit subscribe to Wealth Coin World for regular deep dives, and drop a comment if you've ever found a 1941 Jefferson nickel that surprised you. Tell us where you found it and how it looked. Your story could be our next feature. Keep hunting, keep learning, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hide the biggest stories. Today we're peeling back the patina on the 5 cents, 1940 Jefferson nickel, its story, what makes certain examples valuable, and how ordinary coins can suddenly become extraordinary. Act I. The story and design. The Jefferson nickel first appeared in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. And by 1940 the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse had already become an iconic everyday emblem of American coinage. The design was the work of Felix Schlag, a German-born sculptor whose classical lines gave the coin a restrained dignity. The obverse shows Jefferson's left-profile portrait. The reverse features his Virginia home, Monticello, a symbol that connects a small copper-nickel disc to the expansive story of American history and architecture. In 1940, the nickel's composition was the standard pre-war alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, the same hard, silvery mix that made these coins durable for everyday circulation. Act 2. Why collectors care, and what to look for. Most 1940 Jefferson nickels were produced in large quantities and spent decades in pockets, registers, and ashtrays, which makes many common examples fairly affordable for everyday collectors. That said, there are several reasons a 1940 nickel can jump from pocket change to real collector interest: mint mark and mint location. In 1940, you'll find coins struck at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Some mintages were lower at particular mints, which can affect scarcity in higher grades. Condition, grade. Circulated coins with wear are common. Lightly worn or uncirculated examples are rarer. A coin's grade, the degree of wear and its visual appeal, is the single biggest driver of value. Full steps on Monticello. Collectors prize nickels that show strong, fully struck steps on Monticello's rear staircase. A coin with full steps can command a premium versus a weakly struck example. Proofs and business strike proofs. Proof coins, struck for collectors, were produced in smaller numbers and typically show much sharper detail and mirror-like fields. Proof 1940 nickels are more desirable. Errors and varieties. Strike errors, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and rare die varieties can dramatically increase a coin's value if authenticated. Current market reality, your starting point. As you requested to note explicitly, in today's general marketplace, many circulated 1940 Jefferson nickels trade for modest sums. Current market value starts from 12 cents per coin for worn. Common circulated examples. That's the baseline for coins you find loose in jars or at the bottom of your drawer. But that's only the starting line. From there, values climb with condition, rarity, and collector demand. What big money looks like big money for a 1940 Jefferson nickel doesn't usually come from average circulated pieces. It comes from exceptional examples, high-grade uncirculated specimens, proofs, rare mint errors, or coins with exceptionally strong strikes such as full steps. While most common circulated 1940 nickels are modestly priced, museum quality or certified top-grade pieces and rare errors can attract serious collectors and command much larger sums. In short, most are worth pocket change, a few are worth a collector's dream. Act 3. Practical steps. How to spot the valuable ones. If you're holding a 1940 Jefferson nickel right now, here's a practical checklist to assess whether it's just a nickel or a candidate for upgrading to your keep pile. Check the mint mark. Look on the reverse near Monticello. For 1940, D equals Denver, S equals San Francisco, no mark equals Philadelphia. Note it down. Examine the steps. Tilt the coin under a strong light and look at Monticello's steps. Are they fully separated and sharply defined? If yes, that's promising. Look for wear on Jefferson's cheek and jaw. Wear here tells you the grade. Little or no wear equals higher grade. Check for anomalies. Strange doubling, off-center strikes, chopped rims, or odd planchet issues may indicate an error. Compare with images or a guide. Use a reputable grading guide or comparison photos to get a sense of grade. Consider professional grading for high-potential pieces. If the coin looks uncirculated, proof-like, or shows an unusual error, having it authenticated and graded by a recognized service can prove worth the cost. It's often necessary to unlock top market prices. Closing, authority, urgency, and a cliffhanger. So yes, most 1940 Jefferson nickels you find are humble and start at 12 cents per coin. But in the hum of everyday change there are subtle signs that separate a common coin from a collectible. A sharp strike, a pristine surface, a rare mint mark, or an error that tells a different story. Don't automatically discard anything. History hides in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe to Wealth Coin World for more coin detective sessions. In our next episode, I'll show you how to identify a high-grade Jefferson nickel in under 60 seconds, and reveal one specific die variety that has sent ordinary nickels into five-figure auction territory. Curious which variety? You'll want to tune in, because the next coin we examine might be sitting in your pocket right now. Outro, call to action, thanks for watching. Drop a photo of your 1940 Jefferson nickel in the comments, or describe the mint mark and where, and I'll tell you whether it's likely to be worth more than pocket change. Remember, every coin has a story. Let's find yours. Wealth Coin World. Today, and the exact features that can turn a common coin into something rare and valuable. Tease/cliffhanger. Later in this video I'll reveal the single detail on the reverse that collectors drool over. Miss it, and you might overlook thousands of dollars. Keep watching. Act 2. History and what makes the 1948 nickel special. Long-form narrative. Paragraph 1. Background and design. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and was designed by sculptor Felix Schlag. By 1948 the United States had returned to the pre-war copper-nickel composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel. After the wartime, silver, alloy years ended in 1946. The coin carries Jefferson's profile on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, on the reverse, a design that quickly became a favorite among collectors for its clean, classical lines and architectural detail. The 1948 issues were struck at three mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, with Philadelphia producing the largest mintage. The approximate mintages for 1948 are roughly Philadelphia 89 million, Denver 44.7 million, and San Francisco 11.3 million. Wikipedia paragraph 2. Post-war context and why collectors care. The late 1940s were a rebuilding period for the U.S. Mint. Collectors prized the post-war nickels because striking quality, die varieties, and full steps preservation on Monticello became distinguishing attributes. Full steps, that crisp, uninterrupted set of horizontal lines on Monticello steps, is one of the most sought-after traits on Jefferson nickels. Coins with sharp, full steps command higher premiums. For 1948, while most examples are plentiful in circulated grades, sharply struck uncirculated pieces, especially full steps examples, are significantly scarcer and draw collector interest. PCGS +1 paragraph 3. Keys to identification for non-experts. If you're holding a 1948 nickel, first check the mint mark, on the reverse, to the right of Monticello. For these years, no letter means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and S means San Francisco. Inspect the steps of Monticello. If you can clearly see 5 distinct, uninterrupted steps, that's the coveted full steps condition. Examine where on Jefferson's jawline and cheek, deeper detail and original luster point toward higher grade and value. Also be on the lookout for errors or unusual toning. These attributes sometimes push market interest and auction results well above standard price guides. PCGS +1 Act 3, Value, Market Reality, and How to Sell, the Practical Section, Paragraph 1, Current Market Reality, Face to Market. Here's the honest truth. Most 1948 Jefferson nickels found in everyday circulation are common and typically trade at or near face value. Entry-level circulated examples generally sell for a few cents to $1 or $2. For buyers and sellers, the typical starting market price for a circulated 1948 nickel commonly lands in the neighborhood of around 10 to 30 cents, so the figure you mentioned, 12 cents, sits in the realistic range for many worn examples. Authoritative price guides and dealer listings show low-end circulated prices often under $1, with higher amounts for nicer pieces. NGC Coin +1 Paragraph 2. When the coin is worth serious money but, and this is the crucial, but, the value curve changes dramatically with condition, full step designation, and mint mark. High-grade uncirculated specimens graded by PCGS or NGC can fetch significant premiums. For example, full steps examples in top mint state grades, MS65, MS67+, can sell for dozens to hundreds of dollars, and exceptionally rare, perfectly struck or error specimens have sold for thousands at auction. The San Francisco 1948s has a lower mintage than Philadelphia and Denver, and while common in mid-grades, truly gem-quality S-mint full-step pieces are scarcer and appear less often in the market. Auction records show that top-graded 1948s pieces have realized multiples of typical retail values. PCGS Plus 2 Great Collections Plus 2 Paragraph 3. How to determine your coin's worth right now. Step 1. Identify the mint mark. Step 2. Grade the wear. Does it look circulated, soft details, flattened high points, or uncirculated, sharp design, original luster? Step 3. Check for full steps. Step 4. Compare to recent sales, not asking prices, on reputable sites, PCGS, NGC, Heritage, Great Collections, eBay sold listings. For everyday sellers, a raw MS60, MS64 may list for modest premiums at dealers or online. For true top-grade, MS65 Plus pieces, professional third-party grading can multiply realized value and give buyers confidence. If you suspect a rare error or an exceptional state, get a professional opinion before selling. PCGS Plus 1 Paragraph 4. Practical selling tips and warning about scams. If you decide to sell, don't accept the first lowball dealer offer. Get at least 2 opinions, a reputable coin dealer, and an online auction comparable search. For high-value coins, sending the piece to an established grading service, PCGS/NGC, will often increase buyer trust and closing price, though factor in grading fees and shipping. Beware of buyers who pressure you with cash today tactics. That urgency is often a negotiating ploy. Finally, document and photograph your coin carefully before any sale. PCGS Plus 1 Closing, Call to Action and Final Cliffhanger. Paragraph 1. Recap and emotional nudge. So there you have it. The 1948 Jefferson nickel is at once humble and fascinating, a common coin for daily commerce, but a treasure trove for collectors who know what details to watch. Most examples you'll find in change are worth pocket change, but if you discover a sharply struck full steps 1948D or a gem MS65 plus 1948S, you could be looking at a coin that steps well beyond 5 cents. Coin Value Checker Plus 1 Paragraph 2. Direct Channel CTA and Cliffhanger Reveal. Promise. If you like this breakdown, hit subscribe to Wealth Coin World and ring the bell. We publish deep dives like this that help you spot value in everyday coins. Drop a comment with a photo of your 1948 nickel, or any old nickel, and I'll point out what to look for. And in the next video I'll show side-by-side images of a circulated 1948 versus a full steps MS65 so you can instantly see the difference. Don't let a hidden gem walk out of your life for 5 cents. You might already own a coin that changes everything. Quick facts: 1-line reference blocks. Designer: Felix Schlag. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Post-war. Mint marks: none. P.D. Denver, S. San Francisco. Typical circulated value: around 10 to 30 cents. Uncirculated/full step examples range much higher depending on grade and mint. Wikipedia Plus 1. If you want, I'll convert this into a timed voiceover script with timestamps and on-screen text suggestions for editing. Or I can rewrite it shorter for a 60-second reel. Which one do you want first? Today on Wealth Coin World, we're digging into its history, what makes certain examples suddenly worth more than pocket change, and how you can spot the ones that could be worth big money. Stick around. Near the end, I'm revealing the single telltale sign that separates a 12-cent dime from a collector's prize. Pattern interrupt. A 2-second pause, then a close-up of the coin. Act I. History and context. 0:30 to 3 o'clock. Voice. Narrative. The story of the Jefferson nickel begins long before 1952. Designed by Felix Schlag and introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and brought a modern, dignified portrait of one of America's founding fathers to everyday circulation. By 1952, the United States had returned to normal coin production after wartime changes to the nickel's composition during World War II. The 1952 D nickel, the D indicating the Denver Mint, is a product of that post-war era, steady, unassuming, and produced in large numbers for everyday commerce. But history is never just background. Each coin carries the marks of its time, the manufacturing techniques, the mint's capacity, and the hands that used it. And sometimes, hidden in plain sight, small differences in strike, surface, or preservation turn ordinary coins into sought-after collector pieces. Visual cue: archival photos of the Denver Mint, a slow pan of a Jefferson nickel obverse and reverse. ACT2, specifics, design, composition, and varieties, 3 to 6 o'clock voice, informative, slightly upbeat. Let's break the 1952D nickel down. Designer, Felix Schlag. His portrait of Thomas Jefferson appears on the obverse, with Monticello on the reverse. Schlag's design is both classic and instantly recognizable. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel, the same alloy used in most Jefferson nickels before and after the wartime years. Mint mark and where it was made, the D means Denver. That matters to collectors because mintages and subtle die differences can vary between mints. Mintage: the 1952D was struck in large quantities for circulation. That abundance is why many examples are common in pocket change today. Varieties and things to watch for: while the basic 1952D is common, certain varieties and minting characteristics can increase value. Collectors look for proof-like or exceptionally strong strikes. Coins in uncirculated MS condition. The grading scale runs from MS60 to MS70. Each step up can significantly increase a coin's worth. Full steps: on the reverse, well-defined horizontal steps on Monticello steps. This is a desirable feature for Jefferson nickels and can add premium value. Any era coins or unusual die states, doubling, die cracks, or overpolished dies occasionally show up and can be worth more than standard pieces. Show macro shots of a well-struck obverse, reverse steps, and examples of where versus mint state. ACT3, value, market, and how to find a rare one, 6 to 9:30, voice, practical, persuasive. Now the part you came here for, value. For everyday, circulated 1952D Jefferson nickels, the market floor is low. Many examples trade for pocket change. As a baseline, common circulated examples start at around 12 cents per coin in today's market. That number reflects bulk market realities, people selling old nickels or coin lots. And it's a reminder: everyday coins are often worth only a fraction above face value. But here's the twist: condition and rarity change everything. Circulated versus uncirculated. A well-preserved, uncirculated MS60, MS65 coin often commands higher prices, sometimes a few dollars. As grade climbs into MS66 and above, prices can rise sharply, and truly top-graded specimens, MS67, MS70, can sell for tens to hundreds of dollars, depending on eye appeal and market demand. Proofs and special varieties. Proof coins and known era varieties can attract collectors who will pay significantly more. A dramatic die crack, an unusual strike, or a near-perfect proof example could push value far beyond the 12-cent starting point. Full steps premium. For Jefferson nickels collectors, a strong full steps designation on the reverse is a quick visual cue of value. It shows the die struck sharply and details survived handling, important in both collector circles and certification houses like PCGS and NGC. Practical tips to increase your odds of finding something valuable: search your change. Don't dismiss coins simply because they look old. Handle them under good light and inspect Monticello steps. Use a 10x loupe or magnifier to check for mint luster, strike, and small errors. Pay attention to toning and eye appeal. Sometimes coins with attractive natural toning get higher collector interest. When in doubt, consider third-party grading. A certified coin can command a premium versus raw pieces. Pattern interrupt. Quick montage of a collector finding a high-grade nickel in a jar. Cliffhanger and call to action. 9:30 to 10 o'clock voice, energetic. So, is your pocket hiding a treasure? Maybe. Remember the baseline. Many 1952D Jefferson nickels will start at about 12 cents in ordinary circulation. But the rare, the sharp, and the certified can be worth far more. Want to know the single most reliable visual cue to immediately separate common 12-cent nickels from collector-worthy coins? I'll show you exactly where to look and what to look for in our next short, and I'll walk you through grading one live on camera. If you found this useful, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Wealth Coin World posts coin discoveries, grading tips, and value deep dives every week. Drop a comment below if you'd like a close-up video on full steps, or a guided tutorial on using a loop. And if you've got a 1952D that looks special, snap a clear photo and post it. I'll look. Outro music. End card with channel logo, subscribe button, and social links. Optional B-roll and timestamps 0 to 00. Hook with surprise statement 030. History and design background 3 o'clock. Composition, mint mark, and varieties 6 o'clock. Market values and how condition affects price 9:30. Cliffhanger, CTA, next video teaser. Notes, for narration and editing, keep the pace brisk. Tighten sentences for voiceover when editing. Use macro shots, slow pans, and close-ups of Monticello's steps when discussing. Full steps. Overlay text with price range bullet points when discussing value to reinforce the message visually. Insert a short segment showing how to use a 10x loop, 2 to 3 quick steps, legal/disclaimer, short. I'm not a financial advisor. Coin values fluctuate based on market demand, condition, and certification. The starting market value mentioned, about 12 cents per coin, is a general baseline for common circulated examples and may vary by dealer, time, and region. End of script. Ready to record if you want. I can convert this into a spoken word teleprompter script with line breaks and timing cues. Create a thumbnail headline and 5 clicky YouTube titles. Produce short social captions to promote the video on Instagram and TikTok. Which would you like next? Done. I created a full, long, professional YouTube script for your 1952D Jefferson nickel titled The 1952D Jefferson Nickel, Hidden Value in Your Pocket, and saved it to a document for Wealth Coin World. The doc contains a 3-act script with a strong hook, history, design details, composition, varieties to watch, and an actionable value section. I use your baseline, starts 12 cents per coin for common circulated examples, .b-roll/timestamps, editing notes, a short legal disclaimer, and a CTA/cliffhanger to drive engagement. Options at the end offering teleprompter formatting, thumbnails/title ideas, and social captions. If you want, I can now convert the script into a teleprompter-friendly version with timing cues, generate 5 clicky YouTube titles and thumbnail text, or produce social captions and short clips for promotion. Which one should I do next?